Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. We are all here today, very pleased and proudly joined by a good friend of ours, McCoy, who is a big Oscars awards kind of lover. So we wanted to invite him on here because we've been having some interesting kind of debates and group chats and stuff about some of these awards going by. So we just wanted to we did a reaction for you guys, but we never really got to break down the Oscar nominations and like go through them and talk about our favorites, what was the biggest snubs, all that type of stuff. We never really got to go through all that. So we're going to do that today. And what's nice is I've seen a good amount of these now. I've not caught up on them all yet. There's still some I need to catch up on, but I've seen a good amount. And Ross has been seeing some, and then McCoy might have been seeing some. I don't know, but
I'm pretty close to done. Besides the shorts and the docs, I'm pretty close to done.
Nice. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
I did start watching certain shorts and docs. I can't find them all online, but I did find like there's some that are like on YouTube from like the
World of Dicks. Is that on there? Is that online yet?
It's online. So YouTube had it, and then they like went and deleted it. But then another website posted it. So I need to like find that website and then watch it on there. So it was kind of weird. So I need to I will find that one eventually. I can't find the ostrich one, unfortunately. I really want to see that one really bad, but I did see like the two other ones, like Ice Climbers, I think was one of them, and then the Flying Sailor. I watched that one, and then there was like a few other shorts. I watched some of the documentary shorts and a couple of the live action ones, but we'll get into all that and more. But beforehand,
we'll bring up the controversy too, because
we'll bring up the controversy and some of the history making moments. Like there's a lot of history made here at the actual nominations themselves. So we will discuss that and many more. But first off, thank you, Ross, for being here as always. You know, you're part of the channel. You're always here. Then thank you, McCoy, for joining us. This is great to finally have you on the channel.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And I'm super excited to discuss these. And we're going to, as always, we're going to start not with Best Picture, because this show, like, I want people who are tuning in live, or if they are watching this later, like, to have that leeway to Best Picture. So we're gonna break it down with like another category first, talk about it, and then go through our like what we think of it, all this stuff, and then leading up all the way to Best Picture. So we will start off, ladies first, with Best Supporting Actress. The nominees were Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I said it. I kept saying, you will not nominate Jamie Lee Curtis without Stephanie Hsu. Like, you just can't. There's no logical way when Stephanie Hsu is the heart of the movie. Okay, one of the hearts of the movie. It's like you can't like you cannot nominate her and not like just nominate Jamie Lee Curtis and not her. So I knew that, but I am sad for Dolly De Leon, especially knowing how well Triangle of Sadness did. I was kind of expecting that to get in for Best Supporting Actress. What do you guys think of this lineup? McCoy, since you're the guest, we'll let you start off, but just kind of letting us know your thoughts.
Yeah, so I do agree about a Triangle of Sadness nomination. I think Jamie Lee Curtis has a really good career nomination. She has been in a whole lot of stuff in this role. It's like one of her all-time best. Really recognizing everything she's been in, but I just don't think it's really that deserving for an Oscar role. I do think Triangle of Sadness should have gotten a supporting actress nomination, and I think it would have been a really sweet nomination. I don't think it's like the worst snub or anything of the evening, but yeah, I agree with you. I think it should have gone to her. But
Yeah.
I think ultimately maybe they were trying to get maybe a Woody Harrelson a nomination too, and so it's like who are they lobbying for best, and then of course trying to get a best picture and which they did, and a best director and screenplay, which they did. So they may have kind of been putting off her awards a little bit in their lobbying efforts.
It ended up getting the Licorice Pizza 3, if you think about it. So
that was pretty good. That's what that car got. That film got.
Yeah, Drive My Car as well. It got director, picture, and screenplay. So, well, actually, and it also, Drive My Car had a little bit of advantage because it got 4. It also got international feature. So, there was that as well. But yeah, I agree. Especially, I think over Jamie Lee Curtis, or like you could have taken her out and put in Dolly De Leon because Jamie Lee Curtis is just kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of my thoughts. What about you, Ross?
I like Jamie Lee Curtis, but it felt like McCoy said, like more of a career award.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I compare, if she wins, it'll be her Scent of a Woman. You know, but still, you know, like yeah, Dolly De Leon was good, but I don't know who I would replace Jamie Lee Curtis with, because I wasn't that I liked Triangle of Sadness, but I wasn't the biggest fan, and Dolly De Leon had that one scene, so I don't know who I'll think about who I would replace to put her. Maybe Allison Janney in To Leslie, because you know, but still, like this is a good but not great lineup for me, you know.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean I think right now, I think we are in agreement that like Angela Bassett is gonna take this one.
Gonna take it.
Yeah, I think it's just that like it between the two options, this is going to be a career award anyways, because I feel like Angela Bassett's number 1, and then unfortunately Jamie Curtis is like number 2. I feel like either way it's a career award, and they would have been like, just which one are we going to give it to, who has been around in the business for a long time and never got any love. So but I will say about Stephanie Shu though, it is nice that she got a nomination considering she's young.
Yeah,
you know, like pretty young, and like they don't nominate young actors that much.
It really was a relief to see, like, okay, they're not like the Golden Globes, which is more glitzy and everything. You know, they're gonna acknowledge her. I was glad that she was nominated.
Yeah, she also looks younger than she is too.
How old is she right now?
She's like 32.
Oh wow. Then like wow, that totally just threw me for a loop. I'm like, because I saw like it's either BAFTA or someone nominated her for like breakthrough or young actress or something like that, and I was like, she's not that young if she's that old, but okay, that's interesting. I did not know.
Yeah, just like Gabriel LaBelle was nominated for young actor. I'm thinking he's not that young.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. It does kind of shock me when they do that. For best supporting actor, we've got I like this category a little bit better because of one addition. And that is we've got Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, Barry Keoghan for the Banshees of Inisherin, Q Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Judd Hirsch, poor Paul Dano, never going to get an Oscar nomination for the Fabelmans, and then Brian Tyree Henry, which like at the time I didn't see Causeway, so I was all like, "Oh, okay, good for him." Everyone else was like cheering like crazy, but now this is like one of my favorite noms because I got to see Causeway and I saw him in Causeway, and he is incredible in that movie. So like I am so happy. I know that you saw Causeway, Ross, and what do you think of this category?
Oh, I love this. But like Ari actually convinced me about something though. There's a category fraud in here too.
Really? Which one?
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah,
It's
because
just
he is,
as much his movie as it is.
because I guess because it is about him and Colin Farrell. Like the film is about both of them.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
too, like, hey Mike, I bet you didn't know this about Causeway. There's a There Will Be Blood actor in it too,
Really? Which one?
where she goes to that one place and
Okay.
you know who he was?
Who?
He was Daniel Day-Lewis's son.
In There Will Be Blood? Oh wow.
Yes.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But Brian Tyler Henry is actually my second choice to win because like how subtle he is in it, and then like like is like the film like has a series of reveals, and you'd think like they would be major plot points, and they are, but the characters they actually talk it out like real people.
Yeah.
Instead of you like getting all mad about them lying to each other, and they go, I kind of figured that.
It feels so real and raw, and I am the movie's just good, but his performance just is outstanding.
In fact,
What
I wouldn't have been mad if she got nominated either because she was incredible.
She was. It was like a great like comeback for Jennifer Lawrence as far as like that kind of role. But what did you have you seen Causeway, McCoy? And then also what do you think of this category?
So I've not seen Causeway, so I cannot judge that performance and say it's terrible. It's deserved. Maybe it's deserved. I do think Brendan Gleeson should definitely be in that supporting actor category. Personally, kind of feel like his role in this movie was kind of like back with Brokeback Mountain, with those two roles where they were I thought they were going to maybe nominate them or it seemed to me like better at first time I watched it, like that should be two lead actor roles. And I thought about it, and they supporting and lead. And I think with Banshees, it's just on the edge where it's about this guy who's losing his friend, and the friend is kind of the plot accessory. And because he's kind of the plot accessory, and the main character lives with his sister, and we see him living at home and being real upset and being his highs. I think it should be placed in the supporting actor. But I do need to see Causeway, so I know that performance and can say whether I think it's deserving or not.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of it, and I think Brendan Gleeson's definitely deserving, and so is Barry Keoghan. They both are excellent in Banshees. Like what? I guess we can all kind of agree that Ke Kwan's he's I think the biggest sweep of all the acting noms. Yeah. The only upset I could see happening is Brendan Gleeson, because of the type of film Banshees is. Maybe he or Barry Keoghan win BAFTA, and then that could maybe be like an upset, but I don't know. Because I didn't think Troy Kotsur was going to win BAFTA. Like once Troy Kotsur won all this stuff, I was like, okay, well that's not really a BAFTA type of movie. And then Troy Kotsur won. So
yes, and then like Causeway made me realize too, like not this year, but like Brian Tyree Henry will win an Oscar someday.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He's incredible in Atlanta, and
he was good in Joker.
And Joker, yeah, like he is always so good in everything I see.
And I heard like he was the best part about that crappy Child's Play remake.
He was the best part about that. Yeah, he's a great actor. I every time he works, it's great. And out of this category, who would you like want to see kind of? Are you on Ke Kwan, like Team Ke Kwan to win McCoy, or?
I think so. It would be a good career win for Brendan Gleeson, but I think it would be an even better kind of a very rare we are a very rare, not necessarily comeback win, but a kind of surprise sort of just special win from this guy who hasn't really been in the industry at all since he was last directed by Spielberg back in movies and everything. So
yeah.
as much as I really loved Banshees, I think it's going to go to the right person.
Yeah, and plus too, like after I've been like thinking about this too. Who knew that like we would live in a world where we're like Ke Huy Quan, who disappeared for about like 20 years, would actually have an Oscar before Harrison Ford.
Oh my god, I didn't think about that. Yeah, but you're right. That's kind of crazy. Maybe Harrison Ford, if he is ever in, like, maybe not for acting, he could still win for producer one day. I don't know.
But he's been nominated for acting one time.
He has been. I do remember.
Witness.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't. It's also crazy he was never nominated for The Fugitive, and Tommy Lee Jones was. So that's kind of wild. But speaking of career awards, this is a good segue because any of these actors winning, it would be a career award for them. But for best lead actor, we've got Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and then Bill Nighy for Living. I have not seen Living yet. I can't judge that performance until I do see it. Hopefully we'll see it soon. But I am so happy about Paul Mescal because After Sun, me and Ross's favorite film of the year.
Yep.
It got finally some Oscar love in there for Paul Mescal. So I'm really, really happy that he got in. And he is definitely my number 2 in this category. But Brendan Fraser was just a powerhouse in The Whale. Despite any of the controversies that film may have, Brendan is not one. So I think that he is fantastic in the Whale, and I would love to see him take this. But honestly, I'd be happy with any of these because Austin Butler would be just as deserving as Colin Farrell, which would be just as deserving as Brendan Fraser, should be just as deserving as Paul Mescal, and it's all first-time nominees. The first time since the 7th Academy Awards in like 1935, I believe it was. So, which is like kind of crazy that it's been that long since we've had a Best Actor category with all first-time nominees. So that's kind of cool. What do you think of this category, McCoy?
Yeah, so I was so happy to see Paul Mescal get in because I don't think it was my number 1 of the year, but easily in my top 10. After Sun was in my top 10. I was so happy to see it recognized. But I think, yeah, as you said, they all are all deserving. I do think there's a little bit of chance that Colin Farrell will upset, but I think overall, when it goes to Brendan Fraser, I think that's going to be really deserving. I'm going to be happy with that.
Yeah, I could see a path where Colin takes it only because Banshees did so well. It was the second most nominated film, and I could see him just kind of wanting to award it something, especially if like I don't think Banshees is losing screenplay, but like if it doesn't win screenplay, then Banshees doesn't win anything, and that would be kind of odd for a film like Banshees to not win a single category at the Oscars. So we'll have to wait and find out. But Ross, what do you think of this category?
Oh, I love this category. This category my favorite. And I loved Brendan Fraser. The Whale made my top 10 of the year. And then since I haven't seen Living, I'd actually swap out Bill Nighy with actually Diego Calva. But yeah, still, but I still love this category though, and Bill Nighy I've always been a fan of.
Oh yeah, and he's always a great actor. And
Paul Mescal is actually doing a movie with Richard Linklater.
Really? Which one?
I'm intrigued. It's called Merrily We Roll Along.
Ooh.
Okay, the last part made me intrigued because the first part, like sounds like your typical movie. It says talented Broadway composer Frank Shepard abandons his friends and career to become a Hollywood producer, told over the course of 20 years in reverse chronological order.
Whoa. But I don't think this Richard Linklater film was actually shot over 20 years.
No,
Like Boyhood was with 12 years. So
McCoy, did you like The Whale or no?
I like The Whale. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was. I thought. Yeah, I thought Brendan Fraser's performance was like come back, get that Oscar.
After my third time, I caught a funny reference too. Do you know how the kid was in Jurassic Park, right?
Yes. So yeah. So
if you look up, the person, like whose shadow looms over the movie, who's not in the movie, the person's name was Alan Grant.
Wow, that's funny.
I think also that film is kind of going to mirror. I think it's going to pick up the maybe. Well, sorry to ruin it if we discuss it later, but I think in the makeup category, I think that makeup in that film.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to take that and kind of mirror what The Darkest Hour did back in 2017 and when it makeup. So I think that's what's going to happen with that film.
It's definitely between that and Elvis for makeup.
Even though the Elvis makeup is kind of funny in part.
Makeup, I think.
Yeah, but I would love if the Batman won makeup. I don't think it's going to be that. Colin Farrell, what they did with him was incredible. But for best lead actress, and we will get to the text after this, but we have Kate Blanchett for Tar, which is my favorite actress. We've got Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, she did it, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and then Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So this is a very interesting category because we've got some major stuff to talk about, especially with Andrea Riseborough, because she did her what was it called? Like a grassroots. That was it. I was like, I was something. I knew it was something that had to do with grassroots campaigning, where it was like going to friends to advertise their movie, and then those friends sharing it, all that type of stuff. Apparently, that was breaking the Oscars campaigning rules or something like that, and that kind of caused there to be a fuss with the Academy. The Academy was talking about possibly would they have to take away her nomination, and luckily they didn't, because in my opinion Andrea Riseborough is definitely worth it. But I want to not only get you guys' thoughts on this drama that's been happening with Andrea Riseborough, but also I could see a world now, because especially Kate Blanchett was one of the backers for Andrea Riseborough. I'm wondering if she's one of the ones that's she did that on purpose, because what if she's tired of winning the Oscars? She kind of wants to give someone else kind of that chance. I think this isn't going to hurt Andrea. I think this is going to help her big time, because I think now people are going to be like, well, I got to watch To Leslie, or they're going to or all this conversation is going to make her be the one that's in everyone's mind when voting happens. And that's what's going to get her to possibly be the winner at the Oscars. So what do you all think?
Yep. And then she's my second actually. And plus some people think if a nomination is rescinded, that'll just give it to somebody else. They will never do that.
So it would be just 4?
Yep.
In the category? Really? Wow. I did not know that.
Yep. It's happened before, but and then Andrea Riseborough is my second favorite performance, of the category. Yes, and Ana de Armas was amazing too. I think I put Ana de Armas 3 and then Michelle Yeoh 4.
I have Michelle Yeoh 3 and then Ana 4, but yeah, I agree that they're Then Michelle Williams, you can go fuck a pickle.
Okay.
Because
Oh yeah, Michelle Williams should be taken out and put in, like Danielle Deadweiler, in my opinion.
I have not. I would maybe say that if I've seen Till, but I would take her out and put in Mia Goth. But I know that they're not going to award horror stuff. But that's just my personal opinion. What do you think of this category? What do you think of the drama, McCoy? And also, do you think it will actually help benefit Andrea's chances to win?
I think this is just about another lock for Kate Blanchett. That was just such a powerhouse performance. And I think if she missed it and Tar went home with no wins, I think that would just be a really disappointing night. I thought with the whole drama with the category, I do think the nomination was deserving, and I think they made the right choice by keeping her nomination in. I think it would have been really embarrassing for them to come out and say, "Hey, we nominated her, but we made a mistake." And if they did give it to Danielle Deadweiler, I think it would be kind of embarrassing. Like it would be like telling her, "You were not our first choice, but because we messed up, we're going to give it to you." And I think they did the right thing by keeping it. As you mentioned, Kate Blanchett kind of helped her out with that campaign. So I don't think that was the worst scandal. And I think that it's a pretty good category, a pretty good nominated category.
Yeah.
They've actually rescinded a nomination before too.
Which one?
It's called Alone Yet Not Alone.
Oh yeah, best original song, right?
You know what happened with it though?
What?
Rotten, a former governor and current music branch executive committee member, was found to have emailed his colleagues to alert them of his submission while the nominations were under consideration.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, but see, I don't think Andrea's was that to that extent. I think she was just sort of like saying like to some friends like, "Hey, go see my movie." But then I think it was her friends that were being the ones that were like emailing and doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It was like instead of her. And I'm not a fan of Grace Randolph. That's been proven many times. But Grace Randolph went on and accused Kate Blanchett of being racist and blamed her because she stopped Danielle Deadweiler from getting a nomination by helping Andrea Riseborough.
Well, though Grace Randolph too is a hypocrite.
That's true.
Did you hear what she said, McCoy? Though, do what she says. She's talking about like Hong Chau's nomination, about like how she thinks The Whale is not a very good movie, and then she gets to Brendan Fraser's nomination and says, "And I haven't seen The Whale."
Well, some people have opinions about The Whale and with its controversy, maybe.
Yeah, but the point, I mean, like, I don't mind if you have opinions, just as long as you actually have to see the movie, though.
Yeah.
She says it's not that great, and then she says she hasn't seen it. So
yeah, which is the part that is like very iffy, but yeah, I think we all agree Kate should and will win because she is just a powerhouse. My favorite performance of the year. She is incredible. Now on to the screenplay categories. For best original screenplay, we've got The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. Now, this was one I got 5 for 5. I predicted all 5 of these to get nominated. I was spot on. I was really happy with that. What do you guys think of the best original screenplay category? This is a good year for it. I mean, I would have taken out The Fabelmans personally, and put in like the menu or something like that. But like, this is a good like category though. Otherwise, like, what do you all think of this?
I like it. I like it, and like all the screenplays were good.
Yeah. I agree. And then you, McCoy?
Yeah, I do like them all. I thought I thought the Fabelmans was deserving with Steven Spielberg. He doesn't usually write his screenplays, and that he got a partner and he wrote it. I think that was something that makes it kind of special. But
I'm gonna rewatch it again, but I had some issues with The Fabelmans. when
Like
I
the main
watched
one.
like the fact that Steven Spielberg, like, I get you're writing and directing a movie about yourself, but you're giving yourself no flaws and you're making yourself like almost a goody two shoes type of character. And I'm like I would have liked to seen a flawed Spielberg, someone who has like that you're like, oh wow, that's genuinely not a good thing you did there. But also be like, but then they show like a little bit of like a like that, because that's all of us, all of humans have that side to us. So I would have liked to have seen something like that. It just felt very Hollywoodized, I guess. If that makes sense.
I
So,
remember, Mike, like about the menu. When I saw the menu, like I texted you right after, and then because you haven't seen it yet, and then I said I'm like, I don't know if Ray Fiennes would be lead or supporting, and then he typed on the trailer he's supporting, but then Mike walks out of the movie and texts me and goes like, "You're right. I don't know if he's lead or supporting, and to this day, I still do not know."
yeah, I'm still kind of confused on that. I think he's the lead now, but everyone says he was campaigning and supporting, so I'm confused. I don't know. Um, but what is you all's favorite in this category to win, and that you think will win?
I think probably Everything Everywhere All at Once will win.
Okay, and is that your should too? Is that your favorite?
Oh no, I think should win though is the Banshees because it's written a little bit better, because like it has more of
Yeah.
a storyline.
That I think I'm actually going to say I think Banshees, for me, I think this is the one category Banshees does win, and I think it also should win. So I think it's going to take both of those. What about you, McCoy?
Yeah, so this one I think with should and it should well, I think it's going to be so close between who will win. I think just like on an edge. I think Banshees will win, but like I could change my mind in 1 minute. I just think about those two screenplays and those ideas, and then kind of look at the wins they've been getting, and it's like, oh man, that's a real lot.
I love the parallels too in Banshees. I love the parallel between their friendship and the Civil War because the friendship ending is kind of like a Civil War in a way.
Yeah,
I think should win is Banshees.
Yeah.
Martin, he has won an Oscar before for best short film actually, but since he didn't get screenplay for Three Billboards,
He should have won for Three Billboards.
Yeah, I agree. But
I'll be right back.
That's fine. This is my favorite screenplay of the year, or it's between Banshees and one of the other ones we're going to get to and adapted here soon. But yeah, I think this one's incredible. But honestly, if any of these won, I would not be upset. Like Triangle of Sadness was incredibly written. Tar was like an incredibly sophisticated screenplay. So like any of these won, I'd be happy. Kind of bummed to see no After Sun, like because that got in at Critics' Choice for screenplay, but
nice.
but at the same time, I understand because that's very much like it doesn't feel like I've always said that like with After Sun, it doesn't feel like it was a movie that was actually written on paper. It feels like it's just people just talking, just having normal.
But
yep, and I did enjoy though, like the 2.5 hour episode of The White Lotus too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, basically is
pretty much.
As great as an After Sun nomination would have been for screenplay, I do think it kind of shows like this new promising filmmaker who no one really heard of until this movie. I think she's going to be back with some more great films in her life.
Yeah.
She'll be nominated in the future.
Absolutely.
I think if she had grabbed a screenplay nomination, she could have kind of like it could have led to like an M. Night Shyamalan kind of path where like she never comes back. Like this was her one-hit wonder. So I think she'll be back. It wasn't too bad that she was snubbed.
For sure. And I'm glad that like they actually gave, because a lot of blockbusters were nominated the Oscars this year, but I'm glad that they actually found a way to throw in some indies in there
Yes.
Michelle love as well. And real quick, I did forget to mention this when we were in the category. I should have mentioned this earlier, but Michelle Yeoh is the first Asian woman to be nominated in Best Lead Actress. So if she wins, she will also be the first one to win. So that's it's kind of bittersweet because it's like, oh, that's awesome. But then also at the same time, it's like, you cowards, you've been on TV for 95 years, and this is way too long. What the heck? To finally give a Asian woman Best Actress in a Lead Role nominee, but at least we're still there. But we just did original screenplay, so we're going to get into adapted here. And the nominees for adapted screenplay are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, my favorite in the category, Women Talking, and then the biggest shocker, the one that like had my jaw on the floor, the far from being a screenplay type of movie, Top Gun Maverick gets in for adapted screenplay. I was like, I was like, and it didn't hit me until Ross mentioned it, like later on, that The Whale missed, and I was like, whoa, what? I'm like, The Whale, which is like about writing essays. It's literally a film that is like a writer's movie, misses over a film that's just a technical achievement, and that's about it. It's like, I don't know how to feel about this, especially because the one category we're going to get to it, but the one category Top Gun Maverick should have gotten in it missed that category and got in for this one. So
It's the Ben Affleck category of this year.
it is.
Isn't
it's like because of the Argo situation.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's like kind of insane just how it missed the one it was supposed to get, but then it which is the actual genuine snub, I believe, once we get to it. But what do we think of this category though? I'll start off with you this time, McCoy. What did you think of this category?
So I was so happy for Sarah Polley to get Women Talking. I mean, I knew she would. I've been following it, and I thought she was very strong. There was a good chance she was going to, but I was really happy for her. She said that she was in a book club, and a friend of hers said that they weren't even reading it, but she said, "I found this new book, and you got to read it, and I think you could make a movie out of it. I know you're like a filmmaker." And she read the book, and she was like, "I have to adapt this into a movie." And it was one of my favorite films of the year, and I think it's such a deserving nomination for her. I think it really is. And so I was really happy for her to get that. Top Gun was terrible with screenplay. I didn't like it that much, but I do think technically it was great, and screenplay was terrible. And I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened.
The screenplay of, oh, let's have Rooster's son look exactly like Rooster. Oh yeah, he's also gonna go over there and play the exact same song his dad played. He's gonna like.
I saw this meme though that said no, like the most unbelievable part of Top Gun Maverick is that millennials will actually like know the full lyrics to Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah. It's the screenplay is just rough with that movie, man. I'm so surprised it got in.
My dad actually predicted it. My dad predicted it too.
I should have, because
no. You were part predicted, right?
Why?
Okay, he says now this part's gonna happen, just like Star Wars. He says the guy that's staying there is going to do something.
Oh yeah. No, that's true.
My dad was like, "Did I call it or did I call it?" He said.
That's a good
what
point.
My dad would have done.
Yeah, that was a really cheesy line. Thank you for saving my life. It's like, okay.
Yeah, though, but the women talking though, I brought up this. I don't know if you know this, McCoy. Actually, after watching it, it has my favorite villain of 2022, the Men of the Village,
Yeah,
because you never see them, but you feel their presence throughout.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, and especially like the makeup that Jessie Buckley had to put on after she was beaten and everything. That was just really, really powerful stuff there. But yeah, Women Talking to Me, it was in my top 10 of the year as well. This film was just absolutely remarkable. And when Sarah Polley was nominated, I was so happy. And I'm even more happy because this is like, I was scared for a second there that, like, I remember I had The Whale predicted to win because, Women Talking was like missing in all these places. And I was like kind of worried. But now I think it's full on safe to win in screenplay because the only other because I think none of the other films except for All Quiet and Top Gun are Best Picture nominees, and I think the Academy is sophisticated enough that they'll watch those and Women Talking, they'll realize, yeah, those two are like more tech kind of achievements.
Yeah.
While this is
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
of
And
your
then like Jeff
writers.
Snyder, it was wrong.
Yeah, don't
Oh
even
God.
get me started on that.
Yeah, McCoy though, like what he said, he could have said it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said like a bunch of men will not vote for a movie called Women Talking. And then like he calls it a boring and pointless film.
I don't like that too. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
people who are bored and can't appreciate things.
Yeah.
In that category, I just got to say one thing that's crazy, and it would never, ever, absolutely ever happen. But I do think it would be really fun to have seen, if it could have ever have happened, to see the movie Prey nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Dude, I would have loved that. And I just got to say, fuck off Hulu only for one reason. And that is because that, like, if they would have released Prey in theaters, it would have been eligible because it's eligible for Emmys, but it's not eligible for the Oscars because it never got any sort of theatrical release at all.
Yeah.
And same with Hellraiser on Hulu. Like those movies both felt like event films, and I'm like they would have done well at the box office too. Trust me, like word of mouth, Prey would have killed it at the box office. So
yeah, it was their number one streamed film.
Yeah,
they ever made. So.
Oh yeah, too, and this is also Tommy too. Like pictures cannot do a movie justice. It is because like I used to think I don't like the cinematography. Look in the movie Women Talking. I hate the color grading. It should be nominated for best cinematography. It is gorgeous and it fits the film perfectly.
Yeah, I think the color grading was really good, and I do want to watch it again or buy the Blu-ray and like watch it in black and white and see like because that's apparently because I can change my TV to black and white. Apparently, that's how Sarah Polley wanted to make it, but they didn't have her make it in black and white. She had like just lower the color grading down.
Just like the worst movie of the year wanted to be in black and white too, but then it wasn't.
Oh yeah, with the monsters. Which hey, I watched some of that in black and white, and it was better in black and white. I was.
It still wasn't good, right?
But speaking of cinematography, though, that's a good segue into talking about the thing that Top Gun Maverick was snubbed for, which is best cinematography. What it literally invented a new camera to shoot flying scenes. Was this big, epically shot kind of film, and it misses cinematography. That to me was the biggest snub of all because it got in at every single award show.
It was winning
for best cinematography, and it was winning every single award show. So like it was the one to win. And some people say like snub gets overused, and they say that snub should be used when it's like it was the film that had a chance to win, and it didn't even get nominated. In this case, it fully had a chance to win because it was the front runner and it missed. And that just still shocks me. But the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths, which I need to see. It's on Netflix. I watched like the beginning. I just need to watch more of it. Then we've got Elvis, Empire of Light, which is on HBO Max now, so I need to check that out. And then Tar. So, which great nomination there. But those are
Wait, Tar didn't get in for score, did it?
no, which is good.
I'm joking.
Because it had no score. But for best cinematography, yeah. So those are our 5 picks there for best cinematography. Since you were commenting on it earlier, Ross, what do you think of this?
I think that this is an okay category. You know, like Tar cinematography wasn't anything special to me, and then like it felt like like Deakins is just not made for being Deakins. So yes, like I actually would have put Babylon's cinematography and Women Talking cinematography. You know,
yeah, Babylon,
Top Gun, maybe. Yeah, I mean,
then yeah, Top Gun, Maverick, for sure. If I had it my way, I would put like Decision to Leave in there for like maybe a cinematography nom or like After Sun or something like that. But it's all, but you know, it is what it is here, or even Banshees, something like that. But no, I mean, I really did dig Tar's cinematography. I actually liked it quite a bit, especially like the scene with when she's in like the dark tunnel and like you see the like tiger, I think it was in there or something like that. And then like some of the other shots that are in the movie are really really well done. All Quiet so far is my favorite cinematography of the year, so I'm glad that got in there, and then I think it's the one to win now at this point.
Yep.
It'll be very interesting to see what will win, but I think All Quiet is the one to win. And then Bardo is also so far, anyways, a good pick. Elvis being here, like that's just okay. I don't know, but yeah, McCoy, what are your thoughts on this category?
Okay, so Top Gun missing, as we just said, that's crazy. I also think maybe I think a lot of these nominations should have been scrapped. I did not see Empire of Light. I don't know how well it was done, what effects they may have done, but it probably won't win. That's a great film.
Hello,
Dr. Deakins.
what? Yeah, real quick.
But just the fact Top Gun didn't get in really is weird with this category. I am happy that Bardo got that nomination. It kind of felt like the movie The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, kind of in the way that it hit me, and it's kind of the same theme, not the same style of movie, and also both films got just one Oscar nomination for cinematography, so I'm happy that got in there. But as you said, I think After Sun would have been good. I think Nope would have been a good one too. So,
yeah.
But Babylon's score. I mean, Babylon's cinematography was amazing too.
Yeah, Babylon could have gotten it.
Yeah, Babylon had incredible cinematography. I would have been okay with that.
Especially that scene with the golden hour. You know, like when they're shooting the movie and they say, "Hurry up!" You know.
Oh yeah, that cinematography scene was so good. And then also in that very scene, it'll be a good transition in talking about score next. But before we get to score, what do you guys think is going to win cinematography at this point?
All Quiet.
All Quiet. Yeah. Top Gun should It should. But
You know what should win next year though already?
But
Oppenheimer.
probably, yeah. I think there's like
Because did you hear about what he did though? Do you know what he did?
yeah, he didn't use any CGI.
No, too with the cameras though. He actually invented a camera too.
oh, really?
Yeah.
The first black and white IMAX camera.
Wow. So yeah, that's gonna be kind of cool.
A lot of technical awards.
I need to that could definitely, I think definitely cinematography next year will be between that and Dune Part 2. So those would be like the
Barbie also, you never know.
but it's not beating out those two.
No.
Like, it could be nominated, but it ain't beating Oppenheimer or Dune Part 2. Like those are gonna be automatically.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're like cinematography winners of that year.
He does though. But the cinematographer though for Barbie is no slouch either though.
Oh, really? Who is it?
It's Rodrigo Pietro. Because he's not getting nominated for Barbie because he's doing the Killers of the Flower Moon, which actually I actually have ties to him too.
Oh, wow.
Because remember, my aunt.
Oh, yeah.
My aunt, her husband's niece is married to him.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. So for best original score, if I can find it, I see best original song variety. What are you doing? Hold up, let me scroll down and down and down. Jeez, how far down do they have? Wow. Okay, they have original score around after best makeup and hairstyling. What is wrong with you, variety? Okay, for best original score, we've got All Quiet on the Western Front. And then we've got my favorite score of the year, the one that I'm still humming. Babylon from Justin Hurwitz. And then we've also got The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, making a surprise score nomination. And then we've got The Fabelmans, which I think any Fabelmans fan will tell you is a wasted nomination because I don't remember jack shit from that score. Like that score, I don't even remember. I can't hum you a bar. I can't tell you a single thing from that score, and it gets nominated over like some other very worthy ones, like Women Talking or something like that. You know?
Yeah, he'll go to the God tier is always good.
Oh yeah, but what do you think of this category, McCoy?
Yeah, so I think Babylon. I think it's so deserving, and it's probably going to take it. I do think it would be. I really liked All Quiet too, and it's not going to win. I think that would be a deserving nice win. I definitely agree with you about how I didn't really notice the Fabelmans, but I think with Spielberg and John Williams' connection, that if they want Fabelmans to be the movie to win, that his partner for so long, for decades and decades, I think he should be there to be nominated alongside him for maybe what will be his big, after several decades, finally another Best Picture win for Spielberg. So I agree it was an underwhelming score, but I suppose it's kind of deserving and maybe should be there in my eyes. So I'm pretty happy with the category. Everything Everywhere All at Once was good, and I do think though what should have had it, what probably not many people were talking about, is Pinocchio. I think it should have.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Because Alexander Desplat, he was also getting in at places, and we'll talk about it soon. But yeah, Pinocchio only got the anime feature nomination, which was.
Do you know what other two? I think The Whale could have been nominated too, because I remember the score very well.
I do, but it got in nowhere else, so I don't really think it had any real chance in score. But
yeah, but the two like if you'll notice, if I listen to the Babylon score, the Manny and then like Nettie's theme is actually the same thing as is like almost City of Stars.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like that.
You know, it sounds the same too.
I could see that.
But yeah, you know.
But yeah, and also Banshees has a great score too. Like this is
Who else should have been nominated too? That was getting in a lot of places too, though. It made the short list.
What?
Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, shut up.
The score was good.
Wait, so no, I mean, no.
The score was good, but I don't think it's Oscar worthy. But
that movie should really be passed over and kind of just. At least she shouldn't be written off, but she should try another film and pretend that she didn't make that.
Yeah, stick to like doing smaller scale indie stuff like Booksmart.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, ambitious there.
Yeah, that was awesome. So what did you? Yeah, so what do you think of this category, Ross?
It's a good category, you know, like and then like Babylon should and will win probably.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think that should and will win as well. That'll be like Babylon's only win, but I think it'll be deserved. Or well, actually, Babylon might win too if we'll talk about production design here soon. But Willie Rose says, I actually love the Fablemans and haven't seen Babylon yet, but I can't remember anything about Fableman's score. Yeah, same. I mean, I get the whole aspect of like might be his last time working with Spielberg, but then like I just heard recently him saying, "Oh, I'm not retiring after Indy 5," and I'm like, okay, so maybe he might have a chance to still work with Spielberg after Indy 5. And then also on top of that, that makes it a career award. It's just like, oh, John Williams, we're just we're here to give you we love you, so here's a nomination. So
after he has like I think he had like told like 52 nominations.
Yeah, I believe if I'm correct, this is his 51st.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like he's not hurting for any nominations.
And he's got a lot of wins too under his belt too. So
with all the work he's done, it's deserved, but he does have a lot.
Yeah.
To think about. It was pretty underwhelming. But again, I think if it didn't get score, it would not win Best Picture.
Yeah, and I still think there is a category that is very, very like a big indicator for picture that it missed. And we will get to that in just a second. Because I want to do this category since like score and this kind of go together. We can talk about Best Original Song, where we have applause from Tell Like a Woman. I said, and I got all. Actually, no, I did not get all 5 of these. I got 4 of these. I thought I got all 5 because I forgot this is a life is nominated. But I had Diane Warren in because I was like, you never underestimate Diane Warren. She always gets in. She's always the lone nomination. She's going to be nominated for next year for 80 for Brady. Watch it. She is going to be nominated next year for 80 for Brady because she's Diane Warren. I guarantee you. But yeah, because she's always getting in.
I just looked it up something in too, and you know what? A better score than the Fablemans he was not nominated for either.
Which one?
Hook.
Oh wow,
he should have been nominated for Hook. Huh?
I agree. Oh, did Hook get many Oscar nominations?
Got a few. Let's see, got like 3 to 4 nominations.
Okay, yeah.
You know, below the line nominations, but still.
Yeah.
We got like Best Original Song, and then like Best Production Design.
Yeah, those are
costumes.
Those are deserving. Then we've also got Hold My Hand, Everything Will Be Okay from Top Gun Maverick. And then we've got Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We've got Natu from RRR. And then, like I said, This Is a Life. First off, it'll be a damn shame if the Academy doesn't open up the award ceremony with a performance of Natu. Like,
that would be nice
because get the energy in the room pumping, everyone being like, "Oh yeah," like all excited to Oscars by opening with Natu Natu. I think that would be the perfect way to do it. And either way, it'll be great to see it performed at the award show. And I think this is Natu Natu's to win right now. I think that they're I think it won the Globe. Didn't it win Critics' Choice as well, I believe?
I
song?
I'm pretty sure it did.
I think it did. So I think it's pretty safe to say Natu Natu is gonna win now. But they, unless they decide like, oh, we just want to give it to
Rihanna
or something. It's like a return. It's like her return to music, because apparently this is like her first song since, in like, how many years is it? Like 20 years? I forget how long it is. But like this is her first. This is her return to music in like a long time or something like that, from what I heard. So I don't know if that's like going to be a big indicator, but I don't think it will. The one that I'm surprised didn't get in is, we talked about it earlier, Shao Papa from Pinocchio.
It should have gotten in.
It did not get in when it got in at a lot of other places, but also Taylor Swift's song from Where the Crawdads Sing, the Carolina, just because she is Taylor Swift. Like, I feel like they would have been like, oh, let's have Taylor Swift, Rihanna, and Lady Gaga come to the awards, and like that would have been like a big thing to have multiple big name celebrities there, like those singers. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. What do y'all think of this category?
I mean, it's a good category, but like, I think Natu Natu should and will win.
Yeah. I agree. What about you, McCoy?
Yeah, so it's usually not my favorite category to follow or really talk about that. I do really, I love, as a musician artist, so I love David Byrne, and so his song "This Is Life" that he was part of, it would be great to see him give his acceptance speech, but really it's not deserving. And I have not seen the movie Tell It Like a Woman that had the song Applause, but really, I think maybe I would, if I could, pull that out and put in a song for Pinocchio. But I think will and should Natu Natu.
Yeah,
that's kind of it. And I yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I like what Willie Rose says here. So start with Natu Natu and go right into Kia Kwan's acceptance speech. Banger opening night at the Oscars. Yeah, that would be a nice. Although it would go right into Jimmy Kimmel's monologue, and then it would go into his acceptance speech, unfortunately. But and then Brian Nussbaum says, "I want a Good Afternoon to be nominated, so we can have it performed at the Oscars." That also was on the short list, so it had potential, but.
Yeah, but we'll get to one of the shortlist things that confused me throughout the whole Oscar season.
Oh, interesting.
You know which one it is.
Oh, okay.
Which one was not on the shortlist that should have been? For visual effects.
Oh, yep. Well, we could talk about it now.
Yep.
Then.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But for best visual effects, yeah, we had All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. All pretty basic. I had 13 Lives in instead of Black Panther. I was stupid. I was like, they're not going to nominate a Marvel movie, but they always nominate a Marvel movie. So I should have
just be happy it wasn't Thor: Love and Thunder with that horrible floating head.
God, yeah, that would have been bad. But so they gave it to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But yeah, what Ross is referring to is that there was no Everything Everywhere All at Once even on the short list for best visual effects, which is kind of a crying shame. Which is a crying shame because
when you know how they did it, it's crazy.
Yeah, it only had like 5 effects artists
who never went to school for visual effects. They actually learned how to do it on YouTube for free.
Yeah. Which is
And Everything Everywhere All at Once was a very stylized movie. And it had a lot of that feel, and the visual effects really added to it. And usually really over stylized films, I think, don't get attention like that from the Oscars. I thought these kind of visual effects may be kind of off-putting for it to get a Best Picture nomination. And so maybe I see it doing it so well in all of the other many other technical categories is why maybe it didn't get into the visual effects category.
Yeah, I think that is probably a good reason as to why, and also because we'll get into it right after this category. But when talking about like editing, since I was very stylized there, maybe that's one of the ways they thought like, oh, well, we're already giving it editing. Why do we need to give it visual effects? I don't know if that's like something they thought of too, but what do you?
I think I gotta say, Nope should have been in there too.
Oh, I agree. And then also when we talk about best sound as well here soon, like, yeah, Nope should have gotten in for best sound.
Yeah, because like the warp scene in Nope deserves a sound nomination, period. Did you do which one I'm talking about? You would do what the warping is?
The ship warping?
No. How like this is a term for warping, you know how when I wear my that one, remember? I was listening to the radio and then it goes down.
Oh yeah,
that's what it's called. It's warped.
Yeah. That was really, really well done. So the sound, it's so unfortunate. There's like no horror at all, like anywhere. Like Academy needs to get their shit together, because like I understand you don't want to nominate the next Halloween film, you don't want to nominate the next Friday the 13th. That's fine. Those type of things are whatever. You don't need to nominate stuff like that. But then you get stuff like Toni Collette in Hereditary, or you get stuff like Mia Goth and Pearl, or Nope, in all these like technical categories, and you don't even go for them. It's just, I don't know. It's seems very, very off for me personally. And yeah, Nope would definitely be in my 5 for visual effects. But what do you think of overall of this category, McCoy?
Yeah, Nope should have gotten it. I think I may be wrong. I think will win is going to be Top Gun. I could be wrong there, but it's just been such a big movie this year, and because it didn't get cinematography, I think it actually they're going to maybe acknowledge it there. Not for sure, but that's just speculation. Nope should have gotten in. That's all I can say about that. That's all I can say about that.
I think what I'm most confident in at the Oscars, maybe other than Kyo Kwan, is Avatar: The Way of Water taking visual effects. I just don't think anything touches Avatar.
I think it could be upset. I think it could be upset. I think I think Avatar definitely deserved it in 2009, but I feel like it's the same thing, and it missed out on a cinematography nomination. And I think the visual effects in Avatar were a little underwhelming, especially with another film with blue people this year with Black Panther. I think that Top Gun. Maybe I'll be totally wrong, but I think Top Gun will win.
I think though, like Top Gun is a close second.
It will be, yeah. It could be a second. You're right. You could be right with that.
Yeah, because like Avatar though, I love the special effects in Avatar is because like what surprised me the most about the special effects weren't even the people or the creatures or anything. It was actually that like I asked my mom where do you think that was shot, and she says, I don't know, some random beach, and I said that was all CGI.
I I just think it did that in 2009. It was so big on CGI in 2009, and it's trying to recapture that same thing. And yeah, I think it was lucky with the nominations that it got, and I'm not really upset about it. But I think there's definitely a chance for upset, and I think that upset will go to Top Gun. It doesn't have the same lock that it had in 2009.
But all these films are deserving of visual effects though too.
They are. Yeah, I think Avatar was in 2009 the most expensive movie ever made. Then I think it really deserved it, but maybe it will win. But I think Top Gun could be the upset, the wild card upset.
Yeah, and the Batman I liked the Batman special effects, but I don't even really remember the special effects. I thought it was more practical. It felt like
that's where Nope should be.
Yeah.
I think it's good Batman got in other places, but no, I think Nope should have gotten that. It's a little upsetting.
I think actually I would replace Nope with Black Panther actually.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Yeah. McCoy actually has though Avatar being upset, Mike.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I think that I could definitely be wrong about this. I've been wrong before, but I think Avatar will be seen as the same thing that it was in 2009, just a little bit better, kind of like The Hobbit. And instead, they're going to go with the movie that everyone loves, and it's the movie that Top Gun.
Didn't Avatar 2009 win this category as well?
It won that category, and I think it was the big sensational movie then, and it's a sensation now. But it didn't. I think with not getting a cinematography nomination, that shows that maybe, and it won cinematography back in 2009. So I think it's a little I think it is technically weaker, and I think
this category though usually has the most upsets too.
It does have upset. This category does have upsets, so it could go either way.
Like The Force Awakens came out, Mike. The Force Awakens was supposed to win visual effects, but it didn't.
That should have won. But.
Yeah.
You know what won instead though?
And then
Ex Machina, right?
Yes, and then in 2000, I think it was in 2005. King Kong was supposed to win, and Narnia upset it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then at the ball with the visual effects, the artists, the Academy branch, the visual effects branch, they had a like dinner or luncheon, and apparently the head of it spoke and said to remember to vote this year for the next year after Ex Machina. He said vote for the best visual effects, not your favorite film that happened to have visual effects in it. So sometimes voters don't really maybe think like we think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
For the film they like, and I think voters may like Top Gun. It was that really big Hollywood hit this year. Everyone got together around Top Gun,
and also from what I've heard, like in this category, they also show off like how every effect was done. Like that's why I was thinking that's why I had that movie 13 Lives in. I haven't seen 13 Lives, but apparently, from what I've heard, everything in the cave is green screen practically, and they just did like Ron Howard just did a bunch of scenes in a green screen with like the water, all that stuff, but it looked so real. It was like the way that was done, and and in this branch, I hear they like show off that type of stuff to show like how the effects were done and everything like that, and I think what might be playing in Avatar's favor is right now we have Titanic re-releasing in theaters right when voting is happening. And so I'm wondering if that might have something there to play.
Oh yeah, to like Willie Rose comments about next year's Oscars, and there's one thing that I disagree with on him on.
What?
I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix wins. I think it'll be between Joaquin Phoenix and somebody else.
Oh, for Bo? Yeah.
No. For Napoleon.
Oh, for Napoleon, yeah.
Do you know which one though I could also see being winning too though?
Which one?
for Maestro, Bradley
Oh.
Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley
Because
Cooper.
they love the old man makeup, don't they?
They do.
That
See that.
could be. Could be.
Or if Michael Fassbender made to come back with Killer, I don't know. We'll have to see, but yeah. So I think, like, do you think, McCoy, like that it helps its chances that Titanic is in theaters right now?
I think it really absolutely does. I think,
Yeah.
James Cameron, he's been around for 3 decades in the industry, and even though Top Gun really did get people back, it doesn't have a big name director behind it. And so maybe James Cameron is saying, hey, everyone go see Titanic. Remember how great those effects were. Vote for my visual effects team. And so it does have that in its favor. It has a big name director who could be doing some lobbying that could help it out.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree there.
So, and then talking about something that is also kind of visual, we'll go into 2 kind of visually stunning kind of categories, starting with animated feature film. So the category is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. I have finally seen all 5 of these because I watched The Sea Beast like a few days ago.
Was it good?
It was very good. I was surprised at like how good it actually was. And so, like, this is a stat category. Obviously, I'm not really a fan of Turning Red. I've said it before. I think that film is very overrated. But but for the most part, there's 4 of these. I would not mind winning at all. Like, Puss in Boots was a fucking masterpiece. I was surprised at how good Puss in Boots was. Like, that just shocked me. And then we've got like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which was like excellent, but then also Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Although I don't really count Marcel as the animated film. I don't know how it's here technically, but it's what it is.
If I had my pick too, like, but it's not eligible, it's actually Chippendale.
Oh yeah.
It was actually better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
Did you see it yet, Mike?
Not yet, but I'll get around to it at some point. But what do you think of this category though, Ross?
I like it. Like, I've only seen really one, and I will check out the Sea Beast. And then too, like, I will check out Marcella Show's Shoes On, because like I'm becoming a big Jenny Slate fan after Everything Everywhere All at Once, because she's in it.
Oh yeah, 2 A24 movies.
What? Yeah, do you know who she plays though in Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Doesn't she play the dog woman?
Yep, the big nose they call her.
Yeah, the one that was swinging around the dog. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, but this is Pinocchio.
I agree. Apollo 10.5 not being here is so sad.
Do you know
that
which one
movie? Oh, it's beautiful.
Do you know which one too? Like, do you which one that also made me mad was actually best documentary, because it didn't even make the short list. Was Goodnight Oppie?
Oh yeah, that was also really unfortunate. And we'll briefly go over.
Did you watch it yet, Mike? Or did you watch it? Huh?
Not yet. No, I'm trying to catch up on the actual nominees.
I thought you said you watched a little bit of it, right?
Well, I watched like a little bit. Yeah, I watched like 20 minutes, but that's not.
Wasn't it really good though?
It was what I've seen of it so far. Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah.
But what do you think of this guy, McCoy?
I'm really upset Apollo 10.5 didn't get in. I know someone personally who worked on the film.
That's awesome.
Next to Linklater, and I think it's really disappointing that especially since for a moment the Academy said it wasn't going to be eligible, and then there was some upset, and they came back and said, "Okay, your CGI is actually animated. You will be eligible." Yeah. So not nominated. I didn't dislike The Sea Beast, but I didn't think it was a great film or anything. A really great film. Like some of the other ones. Marcel was my favorite movie of the year. I really hope it wins. I don't think it will. I think Pinocchio will win. But
Do you think Marcel like kind of, because I agree, Marcel is my favorite in this category. It's in my top 5 of the year. I think that it was like, I think my I have to look at where it ranked again, but it was like, yeah, it's in my top 5 of the year for sure. Um, but do you think it's one of those that like still technically deserves an animated category specifically, or?
yes, I'm surprised that they went for it and they said that's fine. I thought the controversy would be there and not with Apollo 10.5, but I'm happy to see it there. I know there was a really long process and they filmed the entire movie over several times and then post production put in a lot of visual effects. So I'm happy to see it there, but and I think it should be there. I don't think another movie should have its place, but I do think it is a little weird. There was a movie a few years ago, Loving Vincent, that was oil painted and animated, but
So good.
I think that was a little more actually animated. Like it didn't have any live action, while as Marcel has a whole bunch of live action in as well. So that does make you think it's a great movie, but why is it here? But I'm happy because it wasn't going to get in screenplay, but that's the only place it could possibly get in anywhere else.
What was the doll movie that was nominated a few years ago too?
What movie?
It was the doll movie. I'll look. I think it's called Amon Lisa or something like that. It's the anime movie with the dolls.
Are you talking about the one that was nominated at the Globes, or?
No, this was nominated for an Oscar too.
With the dolls. I don't know where. Like, how many years ago?
In the 2010s, I think.
Isle of Dogs with
No, with the dolls. I'll look.
Yeah.
Dolls.
I'll look.
But yeah, while he looks that up, yeah, I mean, I agree. Marcel's my favorite in here, but like, if and I would like, I still really did enjoy the Sea Beast, but I enjoyed Apollo 10.5 way more, so I would have personally put that in instead of the Sea Beast. If I was to do it that way, but yeah,
Nope.
Puss in Boots winning would make me. I'd still be okay with that because like the animation in that might be the best animation like maybe ever. Like that animation was jaw dropping. It was beautiful, and then Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is fantastic. So, and that's probably the front runner at this point. So,
I think that will win.
I don't know, but I think it could be upset. Do you know why?
Why?
Okay, like everywhere else, right? Everywhere else, like another film will be winning, but then like you remember, it's like when they get to like ABC. I mean, like ABC now is owned by Disney, and they usually win. Remember how Classic was winning everywhere?
Yeah, that's true. And then they didn't award Netflix, but I feel like with Del Toro attached, like Guillermo del Toro is part of the title, like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And so I think if it's like, I think that's going to help it, because then people, even if it's like just a Netflix animated movie, I think people are going to read, oh, Guillermo del Toro. Okay, well, he's big. We love him. Shape of Water. So they'll give it to that one just for that alone. But I mean, yeah, Turning Red could upset, but I don't think it will.
I think that got there because it was kind of the Pixar film that they probably did just to make sure they got a nomination for that.
Thank God Lightyear missed.
Okay, I found it. It is called like Anomalisa. It's directed by Charlie Kaufman.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, because aren't they basically dolls?
No, not quite. They're people. Well, how it's filmed. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen it in a few years. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a kind of standard animation. It's not anything.
Yeah,
But the
Like-
style looks like they're dolls.
It was definitely a different animation style, but I don't think it was necessarily made with dolls. If that's your reference, but
I sent you a screen cap of it, Mike. I sent it in the private chat.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
See what I mean? You'll see why I think it's dolls.
Yeah, I could see what you mean.
I mean, Pinocchio is dolls, so
True. So it's very likely it could. They love their doll movies. I will say that's for sure.
Yeah, but just I'm just happy though that it's actually like not the Chris Pine Pinocchio movie.
Oh God. Okay. But for best film editing,
Yeah,
the nominees are Banshees of Inisherin. I had that. I put that in at the very last second because I knew it's not an editing type of movie, but I knew they always give what is the runner-up in Best Picture an editing kind of nomination, and so it's like if you get editing, then you're big in Best Picture. Like that's usually the case. Like so. That's why I was like, okay, I'm putting Banshees in, and I think I ended up getting 5 for 5 here because of that. But Banshees, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Actually, no, I did not have Tar. I forgot, I did not have that in. But and then Top Gun Maverick. But so yeah, I think this is a great list of nominees. What do you think of this? Now, I will say this before I go to you, McCoy. You talked about how The Fabelmans has a shot in Best Picture, but it missed editing.
yeah,
So that's something that's really big there.
I think Fableman's missing editing that really hurts its Best Picture chances, and that was really bad for it. Especially since it's a film where the kid he is Spielberg's character. He edits these films and he makes them focus. So that missing that I think I would have replaced Tar with that. Didn't have bad editing, which is still surprising.
Yeah.
well, the past few years, though, to be fair, Best Picture has not equaled Best Editing because I can think of two instances in the past decade that haven't.
Well, Coda, I know
Yep,
that.
and then Green Book.
I thought Green Book got nominated for editing.
No,
I didn't. But
Okay.
that was a flop. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
I think they realized they messed up when they gave it to Parasite the next year.
Yeah. But then, yeah, so I think Coda was like the major kind of exception there. And then, of course, yeah, if Green Book did win, but it's very rare to win.
Let me tell you something though, McCoy. My Mike actually like talked to a person who was in the Academy. Roma was not number 2 that year. Roma was number 3 after Green Book.
Yeah, and because that makes sense because usually the Academy is not in favor when directors themselves edit their own movies, and Kron edited his own movie.
Yeah, I just mean in picture too. Yeah, but you know what was second was actually Bo Rap.
Sure. It was what? I'm sorry.
Bo
Bohemian
Rap was
Rhapsody-
actually second
Bohemian
in voting
Rhapsody.
for Best Picture.
Like, yeah. Because I talked to an Academy member in 2018. And they said second place was Bohemian Rhapsody. And
For editing.
for
No
picture.
picture.
In 20.
Well,
in
in
20.
terms of what they voted for, or who they were speaking to.
No. He talked to an Academy member. You know.
Yeah. But in terms of that Academy member, or who that?
No, like overall, like once all the tallies were set, like once all the nominees came through and all that stuff, like people like
revealed though.
The Academy members knew about it because they were all like
they find out who's second and third.
Yeah, I think they talked about because like they told me that second and third were Roma. Like Roma was third and but Bohemian Rhapsody was second overall. But
I know they vote for their 1 and 2 and 3, but I didn't know that.
It's kind of interesting, but But yeah, so about and talking about best film editing and Borat, good segue because Elvis got in here. They always love like the most edited kind of biopic kind of thing. So it makes sense that that it would be here. What do we think of that? Elvis getting in. I think that's just kind of, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
you see one of those every year, kind of nominations. It's not really upsetting and it makes sense, but not exceptional editing. I don't think it'll win, but that makes sense that they put it in there.
Yeah. Agreed. And then one I had in was, I think I had it in instead of Tar, was Babylon, because I thought with the whole bombastic kind of editing style, I thought that was going to get in.
Yeah, and that movie's 3 hours and doesn't feel like it at all.
But I guess they just saw 3 hour runtime and they were like, oh, no.
My mom just watched Babylon, you know, like, and then in the beginning she says, I'm not gonna be able to follow this. She says this is too bombastic, but then she actually got into the part and like where they were actually shooting the movie, and then she was hooked for the rest of the movie, she said.
Yeah, that is excellent. And also I want to throw this out at you guys. So like I think Best Picture right now is between Everything Everywhere All at Once and Banshees because of this editing nomination. However, do not be surprised if Top Gun Maverick wins Best Picture at the Academy Awards. I could see something like that because it's the film that saved cinemas. Like, people went back to the theater.
Old people did, especially.
Yeah, so
yeah, because like I will never.
And there are still a large amount of old people in the Academy. There are diverse, and they're getting a lot more younger crews in there. That's why we got something like Everything Everywhere All at Once. But
yeah, too, like about that, I will never forget when the first I saw Top Gun like opening day at like 3 p.m. and there were these guys who were about 60 years old, and they asked me like, I actually like have my tickets on my phone. How do I access them? Do you need to print out the tickets on paper or something for me?
But yeah, I think the winner here is Everything Everywhere All at Once. For me, I think that's the one that's going to win. Some people were saying Top Gun Maverick. I think Everything All at Once is going to win here. It's definitely between those two, for sure.
I think it'll. Yeah, it's a real toss-up. It's kind of like screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I agree.
Top Gun ?
Yeah. Top Gun ? As well.
Oh yeah, too. My parents, they did not like Everything Everywhere All at Once, but my mom liked the end. But my dad like got it to the rock part. Man, and my dad was like, "This is getting ridiculous. You gotta be kidding me."
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess it's not for everyone, but
yeah, too. My dad and my parents are not like movie people, so when like James Hong came up, my dad like, oh yeah, it's that guy from Everything. He really everything though, isn't he?
But yeah, I do want to mention. I know you haven't seen it yet, Ross, but McCoy has seen it. My favorite, like as far as edited film of the year, didn't make it in. I knew it wouldn't, but we're about to get in the next category because this is a good segue into talking about it. But Decision to Leave got nothing.
Yeah,
and I was like, and editing would have been like a big one I would have gone for because I think it's the best edited film of the year. The editing in that movie is so articulate and precise, and just everything about like it has a very specific style to it that is like perfect. But I knew editing was probably too good to be true. But then we get the best international feature where you get All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina 1985, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl. No Decision to Leave. They snubbed Park Chan-wook. What do we think of that, McCoy?
I do want to see Close.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. I saw EO. I got a chance. That was the artistic one. I did not think that was going to get in at all. I really would have put Decision to Leave there. I like that a lot. It didn't get a film editing. I thought maybe it would, of course, but if it's not going to get the international anyway. But I don't really know what to say, but maybe he doesn't know enough people in the industry, really. And voters just went for other films. It was really weird how it didn't get in there. That was kind of disappointing. Another big upset. Decision to Leave.
Yeah.
I do want to see Close though.
I do. Close is one I still need to catch up on.
It's because like I've seen the trailer for like every single time that I actually saw The Whale, and then I saw another Hong Chow A24 movie on the preview for The Whale. It's the one with her and
Michelle Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, because like, do you know who I thought that was too, based on the trailer though?
Who?
Okay, what was the girl? Carrie Mulligan. With that
Oh,
hair,
yeah.
I look like Carrie Mulligan too.
I can see that.
But yeah.
I've not seen EO yet. It was playing at a theater that was like an hour and a half away from me. I didn't feel like driving at that point, but to see it. But I will hopefully get a chance to see it for the Oscars if it like releases on VOD, so I can rent it. But I do really want to see EO and Close and The Quiet Girl. I still have a screener somewhere for The Quiet Girl. I need to get around to watching, so I can so hopefully I can watch that, and then that'll be I can complete that category. But so far the only ones I've seen are Argentina 1985 and All Quiet on the Western Front. And All Quiet, I mean, that's obviously the one that's going to win. It's the Best Picture nominee. I think that Argentina is next in line, but I think All Quiet for sure is the one to win there. For Best Production Design, we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. What do you think of this category, Ross?
It's an okay one, but I don't know why All Quiet on the Western Front or The Fabelmans is on here.
I disagree with All Quiet. All Quiet had great production design.
I think I would have put the menu or The Whale even, because it was his apartment. It was very distinctive. But yeah, but I think I would pick Babylon to win.
Yeah, I agree. And then also for production design, also Glass Onion, I would have liked to see it.
Yeah, Glass Onion was good too.
Just because I had like some really
but the menu too. The menu had really good production design.
I don't really
remember the scene where she goes inside of his apartment, right? And then like it's the replica. It's the replica of the kitchen, and then the scene with the stables.
Yeah, I guess. But that's one scene though. I don't know if that's enough to get it in for that, but I mean it was okay. I just don't really think of it as.
And then like production design too could also be like the tortillas and the way they made the food look too.
Yeah, I guess it could count as production design. What do you think, McCoy, of this guy?
I think they pretty much essentially made the right decisions on where to go. I think I do agree. I think All Quiet won't necessarily win, but I think that will be that should be.
Yeah, I think it's next in line for sure. I think it definitely has a chance. I think Babylon is I think at the top because they love their Once Upon a Time in Hollywoods where you recreate Hollywood. But then I think right after that is All Quiet on the Western Front here.
Yeah, I do think either Elvis or Fabelmans I would replace.
Yeah, I agree. Elvis, maybe not. That had actually really good production design. I have to look back and.
I agree with Glass Onion should have Fabelman's place.
Yeah,
I
agree. I think I would take out Fabelman's and put Glass Onion, and then that would be like my 5. And then technically, does Avatar even have production design if it's like all visual?
A whole lot. I don't think that
Or yeah, because that's another one that's like I don't know if that technically counts because it's all computer generated effects. So, but
but
like,
there weren't a whole lot of other contenders this year in that category.
yeah, I guess it's I would have maybe if I'm talking about big blockbuster Wakanda Forever, I probably would have go or the Woman King. The woman, no, I take that back. The Woman King, I would have put in over Avatar because I think
I still have to see that.
the Woman King got shafted. That was really
Isn't it
sad.
getting? I'm gonna wait till it's on Netflix.
I didn't like the Woman King that much, and I don't think Viola Davis. I don't think she was really there to get the nomination. But I think production design would have been a good place to say, okay, we see you.
For sure. Like production design, maybe even costume design, like those two things I think would have been like a good like spot to put the Woman King in. And
Because I think it's coming to Netflix in a few weeks.
yeah, it is coming to Netflix pretty soon because they just had put Lyle Crocodile on Netflix, and
Which I heard that movie's actually decent enough. I think.
that's like that's a Sony property, so we should see. But speaking of costume design, we've got Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. This is the category I knew the moment they announced Everything Everywhere All at Once. I said, okay, they're writing this movie hard. Like they are writing it hard because it didn't get in a lot of other places for costume design. And the costume design is incredible. What Stephanie Shu wears in the movie, it's so well done. So I think that it's like very wacky but very good. I think this is overall a great category. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris has some amazing costumes. I watched it like not too long ago, and like that actually has some.
How was the
great
movie
costumes.
too?
It was charming. It was.
Do you know what I?
but-
Do you know what I heard though
yeah.
too? I remember like back when the Oscars were first ramping up, they said she could have gotten an Oscar nomination because they said she was really good.
She was really good. And I wouldn't. I mean, that competition was a bit too strong, but
Yeah, but you know this was right when it was first starting up. You know how everybody gets a nomination.
Oh yeah.
Just like Ari says right now is that Dave Bautista's Oscar worthy Knock at the Cabin.
Actually, he might be. I don't know. He's really good in Knock at the Cabin. Like he's
Is he
really
better
good.
than The Rock's performances ever?
Like yeah, pretty much better than every Rock performance. But what do you think of this category, McCoy?
I like lots of the I think I like some of the nominees. I think Babylon will come through and win there. Maybe not definitely. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once really was kind of, as you said, overhyped there. And I think two movies that maybe should have gotten that spot are either Banshees of Inisherin, probably would have been a good pick in my opinion, or also maybe Women Talking too. Could have gotten in there. But,
Oh yeah, that was some great costumes.
it did, but ultimately, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once, just because it's one of the biggest movies this year. As you said, they really just lobbied a lot. They got lucky. They did well.
Yeah. Or like we mentioned, also Woman King could have gotten in there.
You could have gotten it.
For costumes. I would have been really happy with that. But yeah. But overall, I mean, I think it's a good category. I could see like a surprise win for. I could actually see a surprise win for something like Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, or or like something like Elvis. I could see Elvis maybe win, but I actually have Black Panther Wakanda Forever winning just because it's Ruth Carter, and I think it's like they're gonna be like, oh, Ruth Carter, we love her. She's like a legend in costume design. So, and she won for the last one. So,
Yep.
that's definitely, I think, a big possibility there. So,
It's just sad that I think that like Namor was a better Aquaman than Aquaman himself.
Yeah, it's not too far off. And then we've got best makeup and hairstyling. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. So we mentioned this briefly. We think it's The Whale that's winning, right?
Because they use a 3D printer too.
Yeah. So I think that is probably gonna. Although, you know what? I want to throw this at you real quick, boy, and just see what you think here, because we say The Whale. I want to throw this at you. All Quiet on the Western Front. And the reason why I'm going to throw that at you is because The Whale is extremely divisive in its makeup right now. Like, the makeup specifically is extremely divisive.
Yeah.
And also, same with Elvis. People were like, Tom Hanks, what the heck? It's so extremely divisive. I haven't heard any complaints like that with All Quiet. And considering it's the big best picture kind of movie, I could really see All Quiet being the one to just kind of surprise and take this category. What do you think?
That could happen if it has a good night and it maybe wins another award, cinematography or something like that. I think, or another award or multiple awards. I think that is a possibility there. Overall, I think it was all five were good. I wouldn't really mess with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is also one I went 5 for 5 in, because I thought like all 5 of these were going to get in, and I was pretty confident there. I will say Everything Everywhere did not make the short list, but that did have great makeup. So that would have been.
It did. You
That
know,
would have been great to see that kind of get in, but I wouldn't like replace any of these with it either, though. So I don't know.
Okay, were the fingers CGI or no? Because I've heard they were a mixture.
The what?
The fingers in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah, I think I did hear they were like a mix, if I remember correctly. Like they were like actual green fingers, so they were like green screened.
You can actually buy the fingers too. I might buy some later on.
Yeah, I heard that you can.
If they're a glove.
For best sound, the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and then Top Gun: Maverick. Another really solid category. However, me personally, I would take out here probably Elvis and put in Nope.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's what I would personally have done here, because the sound is incredible in Nope. So that was unfortunate. It did not make it, but I think this one, it's easily Top Gun: Maverick, right? I think we can.
Yeah, Top Gun: Maverick, but I wouldn't be mad at the Batman one because that had amazing sound.
Especially, I watched it in IMAX, and like
I watched
the Batmobile scene where it's like your chairs are vibrating as the.
Yeah, I saw it in Dolby, and that's the same thing.
Yeah, it was super duper loud, and I really enjoyed that experience. So,
have you ever seen a movie in D-Box yet?
I don't even know really what D-Box is. Or
I've gone to one, and remember I told you about it when I saw Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, isn't it like AMC's version of 4DX?
No. Like they didn't have one at my AMC. No, it's where the seats move with the movie.
Yeah, that's 4DX.
Oh, it is? Okay. This one though, you know, why just the chairs move. There's no like snow or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because 4DX, like the chairs move, but then they also like blow wind at you.
I'm gonna go and
there's
see
a little
Scream
bit
in
of
4DX though. I'm gonna go see Scream in 4DX.
I'm too. I'm kind of intrigued to see how that would be in
What?
40x. But
I'll be about 45 minutes too.
what do we think overall about this best sound category, McCoy?
That's it. It's gonna go to Top Gun. I think it's not a lock. I think All Quiet and Avatar are in play.
Yeah.
But Top Gun, I think we'll get.
I got an interesting question though for you guys about Avatar though.
What?
Okay, like let's say all of them are like game changers in terms of special effects and box office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could we have a Best Picture winner eventually of that? Because I really do think so.
Wait, a best picture winner of what?
Okay, you know, like if how like Lord of the Rings, how they kept on building, you know, with their wins until eventually, you know, Return of the King won Best Picture.
Oh yeah.
I think Avatar could be like that too. You know, at the end of the series, if all of them are $1 billion films.
Yeah, maybe. I can see that, but at the same time, I wonder. It'll all depend on how they go. Because if he wants to make like what 6 or 7 of these things, like I wonder if people will eventually just get sick of them after like 6 or 7. I don't know. We'll have to.
Well, McCoy's already sick of them already, huh, McCoy?
A little bit. I wasn't a huge fan of Avatar, and I think it's technical.
It was better than the first, I thought. But
I think it was kind of on my. I didn't love the first either. I think its best chance is with sound, but I think they'll go to Top Gun. I think it would have been interesting to see Black Panther in sound.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, because like it's the first time. I mean, like I've actually heard like the sound of fluttering, and it wasn't cheesy.
Yeah, it's,
Do you remember when he was fluttering that I'm talking about?
Yeah, oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
With his feet.
Oh, and also another one I wanted to bring up because you talked about visual effects for Avatar. There is one thing that could hurt it in visual effects.
What?
And when I watched it the first time, I watched it in 3D, and the 3D format automatically is 60 frames per second. And so when I'm watching it, I'm seeing them fly.
You're right.
and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like literally turned to my friend. I was like, dude, I can't fucking process this. I can't do this. They're moving way too fast. I can't deal with this. I was like, my brain could not process 60 frames per second moving at that speed and everything like that. And I'm wondering if other Academy members would look at the effects like that. And that's just kind of something to consider.
Oh yeah, too. Like about cinematography, though. I mean, like I know it's not possible, but like do a movie I think actually has very great subtle cinematography to it. Is The Whale?
Yeah.
No, because if you'll notice something, you'll notice too.
What?
Okay, you know how the movie's through Charlie's eyes, right?
Yeah.
The kid, you know, the kid from Jurassic Park is almost in black and white, right? And then like how he's wearing black and white, and then like Ellie has this like almost like angelic glow around her.
Yeah, I see that. Kind of some like the lighting and such. But yeah, so next category, and I think we'll go over this briefly if I can find it, because I don't think enough of us have seen all of these, but we can talk a little bit about documentary film. I guess just go briefly over these, see what we think will win. There's All That Breathes, which is on HBO Max now. I'm gonna check that out here maybe this weekend if I get a chance, or next week. And then All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, which is my personal choice here. And then Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, which I need to see. I don't know how to see that, but like it's up for voting for the Independent Spirit Awards. But I'm like, if they want me to vote, like I can't watch it, so send it to me. How am I going to watch it, guys? Send me
Oh,
House
yeah,
of
too. And then like
Flowers.
Fire of Love though sounds really depressing.
And then what it is really sad.
It's good though.
It is really good though. And then
Okay, Night Off, you should be here. But
and then Novelty, which I have not seen, so I need to see. I need to see Novelty, but I heard I think that's also on HBO. I heard some good things about that, but
Yeah,
how many of these have you seen, McCoy? And what do you think?
I've only seen All the Bleeding and Bloodshed and Fire of Love, and I think those are the two that are going to be competing for the win. If I had to say, I'd say Fire of Love, but which I enjoyed. I like both of them, but Fire of Love I think will hit. It's just a different kind of unique. I think that'll hit with voters. And just All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, but it's really close.
Yeah, I could see like if they want to make like some important political statement, then maybe they would give it to All the Beauty and the Bloodshed because of the subject matter of that documentary.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I could see something like that, and it would be sort of like a way of saying "suck it" to why am I blanking out on his name? Who's the asshole who did the pharma?
Oh, I know who you mean. I forget his name, but I know who you mean. Yeah,
Michael Sobar played him in Dope Sick.
Let me look.
It's like, why am I?
One thing in that category I was a little surprised was Moon Age Daydream. I guess because I never actually saw Moon Age Daydream, admittedly, but I heard it was really good, and so I was a little surprised.
Richard Sackler.
The Sacklers.
Yeah, McCoy. That's actually one of the scariest things I've ever watched too. Dope Sick.
Yeah.
Because like it's about like people like overdosing on the pain pills, and they said that 98% of the people that actually overdosed were actually taking the correct amount.
Yeah, and All the Beauty and the Bloodshed tackles that, and in a very very good way. And it was in like my top 10, maybe number 11, if not my top 10 of the year. Like I loved All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, but
I agree. I think what it kind of has not going for it is a little bit. This is a little bit too bad, but it's just of a lack of originality factor because there have been films about drug use before, and that kind of thing. And I think Fire of Love's uniqueness could get it to win.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I remember some people for a while saying they didn't even think it was going to get in just because of the fact it's archival footage doc, and I don't think the Oscars like that much from what I discovered. But
this one too actually I think have the most snubs too ever.
Yeah, well, just this year also Netflix missed again with Descendant, which is kind of shocking because Netflix at least always gets one documentary in here.
I thought that maybe Senior had a chance too.
Yeah, both Senior and Descendant missed. So,
what do you think though about like doesn't this category too have a lot of snubs too always?
Oh yeah, they always snub the front runner. So.
Yeah, like Showa should have been nominated, and then like Hoop Dreams, and then Won't You Be
Yeah. So I think that's because we're not gonna do the shorts since I'm like the only one that's seen them. But I can tell you each. I haven't caught up yet on them all, but I will briefly say what my favorites in each of the categories are so far. So for best documentary short film, my favorite in this category so far is Stranger at the Gate. That's the one that really affected me the most. That's on YouTube. I think it was like from New York Times or New Yorker. I forget which one did that, but Stranger at the Gate really, really impacted me. And then for best animated short film so far. I've only seen 2 of these, but so far, I guess it's Ice Merchants.
I've heard the buzz about that.
Yeah, because I thought that was really, really good. I actually came up with a short film that like the flying sailor kind of. I was like, damn it, they beat me to it, but I'm like, but it's kind of similar to Flying Sailor a little bit, but it's live action, so animated. And then I just need to see some more in that category. And then for best live action short, again, I've only seen 2 in these categories so far. But my favorite is Night Ride. I thought that was really fun and just heartwarming and touching. So that's definitely, those are my favorites in those categories, which all 3 of those I think you can find on YouTube. So you just have to search them on YouTube and you can find them there if y'all are interested in seeing those shorts. Now on to the big categories, like best director. We've got Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin, The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and then the foreign pick this year happened to be Ruben Ostlund instead of Park Chan-wook or S.J. Rajamouli. It was Ruben Ostlund. So, which makes me very happy. But what do we think of this 5?
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. I think Ruben Ostlund, it was surprising, but since he was snubbed of even a nomination for both Force Majeure and for The Square, I feel like getting screenplay and director and getting picture as well was really good for it. I'm really glad Todd Fields got in with Tar, because even though that has no chance of winning, I think that just recognizing his work there was really good. Who's going to win? I think Spielberg's going to win after 20 years, but well, it's going to be close between Spielberg and Daniels, and it would be really great to see these young filmmakers too come up and get, or newer filmmakers who haven't had nearly the filmography as Spielberg. But I think with Spielberg's whole "I've been here for 5 decades," I think that's really
And also like campaigning is a big part of it, and the Daniels have been campaigning a lot more than Spielberg has. If I like, just they've been in all the interviews lately, all that stuff. So I could definitely see the Daniels winning this category. What do you think, Ross? Of this?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think that Daniel should and will win. Spielberg has had his time, and then like I watched a funny video with Spielberg. You know, like when he was directing Jaws, him actually watching the Oscar nominations. He and his friends are so pissed when he didn't get in for director. They're like, "Just what the fuck? Did the movie direct its fucking self or what?"
Yeah.
But yeah, Spielberg has had his time, and then like Triangle of Sadness, I don't know, should be in here. I would put Sarah Polley in more instead.
I mean, I would put them both in personally, but if it was up to me, but yeah, Ruben
is because like Triangle of Sadness, I had a big issue with too.
Oh, really? What issue?
Okay, like the first like 20-30 minutes is about the couple, right?
Yeah.
And then after they're stranded, they kind of just drop the couple as the main focus.
Yeah. Well, no, they're both still, especially the guy is still a big part of
like them together. They're separated.
Well, that was the point of the allegory that it was trying to present. It was trying to present how fake their relationship was to begin with, because it was all on money.
But still, I still liked it though. But it has the funny scene of the year.
Yeah.
And then like Jeff Snyder though pointed out that's why it's not going to win Best Picture either.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on that, yeah. but
Yeah, that's what I
on
mean.
talking for sure he is wrong.
What?
But
Yeah, no. I meant to like he's not wrong. Like
but,
this shit and pissy shit about
yeah,
why it's not winning
yeah.
Best Picture.
But yeah, Ruben. But no, I am glad for Ruben Austin. And what do we think of like? I mean, I'm the guy that I did. If I was betting on last year's Academy Awards, I would have done so well because I would have gotten all but like I think one of the short categories and Best Actress because I was one of those people who I was like Penelope Cruz is going to win because she got in nowhere else. But watch her have a last minute surge. She's going to like go in there and just like take it from Jessica Chastain, and that didn't happen. But what do we think? Like Ruben Austin hasn't gotten in anywhere else, so we can't say whether or not he would have had a chance in those other places or not because he's not been in anywhere else. So like, what if he has a surge all of a sudden? Just takes it.
That's an interesting point because it's like why didn't you win there? Well, it wasn't nominated there. Yeah, in other awards, but so that could happen. That would be a really interesting thing. But I think if you overlooked Spielberg, which could happen for Daniels, that would be one thing. But to overlook Spielberg and to give it to this guy who has this film that's like Triangle of Sadness, I just don't think that could really happen.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, especially considering that. I mean, I think Madonna would have probably even a better chance just because those are the three most nominated films at the Oscars. So for a while, there was a chance I would say Todd Field, but I don't think he's. I think he's out of the question. And I also think because of the one take scene of Tar, I think that Tar is the best directed film of the year. So I would love to see him win, but I don't think it's going to happen. But who knows? But now when it comes down to the biggie, Best Picture. And your nominees for Best Picture, we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. So, what do we think of those 10? I pretty much was on the money, except I didn't have Triangle of Sadness. I had Babylon in, but everything else I was pretty accurate on in betting. But what do you all think of these 10?
Okay. I like 8 of the nominees. If I were in charge, I would take out Elvis and then Triangle of Sadness, and I would have put in Babylon and The Whale. And then it would have been a good, perfect 10 for me.
Yeah. I will say I am very pleased. 5 of these are in my top 10 of the year. So Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees, Triangle of Sadness, Tar, and Women Talking. Those are all in my top 10 of the year. So
I actually also think that To Leslie could have taken the Fableman's place too.
Yeah, I would have definitely. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have taken out like Fableman's, maybe Elvis.
Yeah, but To Leslie is actually a better movie than people getting credit for. They were talking about her performance, but everyone was good in To Leslie.
Oh yeah,
Allison Janney was incredible.
Yeah, she was great. So was The Son. I thought The Son was like really, really good.
And then Mark Maron's always good.
Oh yeah, for sure. What do you think of this category, McCoy?
I think it was a good group. I didn't exactly have it in, but I knew that the wild card for Best Picture was going to be Triangle of Sadness. I didn't have it in my 10 predicted, but so it showing up doesn't exactly surprise me. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win. Personally, I think it would be nice if Fableman's won. again, just sort of because it's Spielberg's movie, kind of just for him. But if he is able to win Best Director for that, then that would be his nod. Elvis was a good film. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve its Best Picture nomination, but I think I'd take that away if I could. And it wasn't my favorite. I think I would have never gotten it, but I think After Sun should have been in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would have for sure put After Sun in there. I knew it probably wasn't going to happen because it didn't get anywhere else, but I actually did think RRR also had a chance just because of how talked about that film was.
Yeah, after the PGA, I thought that The Whale could have gotten in too.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Will, and I thought The Whale was going to get in. I had that as my 10, but I knew if there was going to be a wild card, I had a feeling it was strongly going to be Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, which makes sense. They usually get the Cannes film in there, like Parasite or
and Parasite.
Triangle.
Okay.
Like that, so.
I think honestly that like Parasite was the best picture winner since Return of the King.
Maybe. I could definitely see that. The only time I think my favorite movie of the year won Best Picture was in 2014 with Birdman. So, but I'm still waiting on when my favorite movie of the year. It would be this year if it wasn't for After Sun, but because Everything Everywhere All at Once for a while was my favorite of the year. But yeah, I think this is a great category. And how do we feel about like the Oscars ratings this year? Because if you think about it, like they've got an over $2 billion film now with Avatar: The Way of Water. They've got Top Gun Maverick nominated, which is like one of the biggest blockbusters, saved cinema. Elvis, which was like a very successful biopic. Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is like A24's highest grossing film. It was like a big juggernaut at the box office. What do we think the ratings are going to be like for the Oscars this year?
I think they'll be higher because also too, like the slap is still a big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this slap could not necessarily will it could help it. People will be tuning in to see like what the slap is of the year, if there will be another slap or something.
Yeah.
Which I hope they don't try and recreate it because it was so.
I don't think so. I think they're going to try and keep that off. But I think a lot of people are going to think that's the kind of crazy stuff that happens at these shows. And it got it was 16 million last year, and I think it's going to get at least probably 18 million this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely be excited to see some of these in theaters. Like I didn't get to see Triangle of Sadness in the theater, so I'll get to see that in a theater when it releases. And I didn't get to see Women Talking in theaters, and that's coming here, so I'll get to see that in the theater. And then also the one I'm most excited about is All Quiet on the Western Front is coming to my theater, so I'll get to see that.
That's cool.
And get to see that like big screen experience that movie should have been, with like the loud sound and all that type of stuff. So that'll be really fun. So, and usually my Regal doesn't get these Netflix movies. So I guess Glass Onion helped that because they got Glass Onion. Now they're getting this one. So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited to rewatch these all again, to catch up on the nominees that I'm catching up on. We will be ranking all the Best Picture nominees for you guys during Oscars week, like the week of the Oscars, when we do that week show for you guys.
I'm excited about that.
And so we will, and you're more than welcome to come on for our ranking of that, McCoy, whenever you want, of ranking the Best Picture nominees, because that's all it, because we always enjoy doing that. And on Patreon, if I can, I'm going to try catching up on every category. If I am able to, then I'm going to do a ranking of every category. on Patreon. So it'll be that'll be something that it will be every category in there that's going to be something special. So yeah, I'm excited for this award season. Everything coming our way. We have BAFTAs coming soon. SAG is coming real soon.
Yes, I can't wait.
So we're gonna really start getting more of an indicator.
I remember back when the Golden Globes
so-
were actually way after the Oscar nominations. I remember that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that they were.
Like-
How long ago was that?
I'll look, but like in the 90s and 2000s, I think.
Wow, interesting. I did not know that. But yeah. Before we sign off, just wanted to thank you again, McCoy, for coming on. This was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll definitely be sure to get you on again for any Oscars talk in the future. Just let me know what kind of video you'd be interested in, and we'll definitely work it out. So
For sure.
yeah. And thank you all for watching. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff, guys. And most importantly, keep on watching those movies. We'll see you all in the next one. And until next time, stay classy.